So the Twins don't know much about Masterson. Span with some two-strike fouls. This will be the 8th pitch of this plate appearance.
I mentioned Masterson, 61 pitches in his first start as a Cleveland Indian, 4 innings against the White Sox in Chicago.
Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. By your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or visit northlandford.com and drive one. And by Home Furniture. There's no place like home. Time, and if the Twins aren't careful, a division championship is slipping through their fingers. And tonight the Twins open up a 3-game series with the Cleveland Indians. Bert Blyleven and Dick Bramer for the series opener. This whole notion that the Twins are home now, things will take care of themselves, everything will be all right. Well, over the last few months, that's been more fiction than fact.
I think, Dick, over the years, what we've seen is the Twins have had a very good success at home. Well, it hasn't gone very good for the Twins since the middle of June. 11-13, and they've not had a winning homestand since May, so they got to pick it up right here. This is an important series. They just lost 2 or 3 to the Kansas City Royals. They cannot afford to lose 2 or 3 to the Cleveland Indians.
And this being an important series, of course, the opening game of the series, critically important. Scott Baker on the mound, and long about the time the Twins have struggled at home, Baker's actually pitched fairly well.
Yeah, he really has. He's coming off that poor start against the Tigers, but Scott Baker, he needs to step it up, and he really has. Over his last 13 ball games, he's 7-1 with an ERA under 4, so Baker needs to stay away from the big innings, stay away from the bad pitches. Easier said than done, but hopefully Baker can do that against the Indians, where he's had a lot of success in 2 starts this year.
And if the Twins are going to get things turned around, everybody seems to think Scott Baker's the guy to get it done.
This is at home, and we need to win every series at home. Kansas City came in and outplayed us here, and we have to. You can't let that happen. You want to get back in this thing. So against a team like this who's playing good baseball, the Cleveland guys over here, they've got rid of some people, traded some people out, but has some guys that want to show what they can do. They're tough. They've got nothing to lose, and they're going to get after it. And we always play them tough anyway, so nothing's going to be taken for granted. And before you go on the road, you need to win a series here.
Well, you want a manager with a lot of fire, and definitely Ron Gardenhire, that manager with a lot of fire. You know, let's play Ron out there. I know he'll beat the Indians.
Well, one thing that's happened over the last couple of weeks, the lineup has been productive enough to win some ball games, more games than the Twins have won. Joe Mauer red hot, Orlando Cabrera red hot. We'll see whether the hot hitters can continue their hot hitting.
North is presented in high definition by Sony. HD, it's in our DNA.
For the Twins to remain a contender in the Central, they'll need to pick up the pace at home.
Oh, Gale's not here. I don't need anything.
Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented in high definition by Sony. HD, it's in our DNA.
For the Twins to remain a contender in the Central, they'll need to pick up the pace at home and on the hill. Tonight, they look to do both, with Scott Baker trying to get the Twins back on track. Baker will do so facing an Indians lineup that has been at its best since trading a pair of All-Stars. It's a crucial weekend series against a division rival. Twins, Cleveland starts now. And the Twins take the field having won just 3 of their last 12 ball games. Things have not gone well at all since the Twins swept the White Sox here toward the end of July. And Scott Baker will try to pitch a good one here tonight and get the Twins off on the right foot in this 3-game series. The Menards batting order for the Cleveland Indians. Grady Sizemore as Trubel Cabrera, Shin-Soo Choo, Johnny Peralta. Travis Hafner has had great success against Scott Baker. Then Luis Valbuena, Kelly Shopik, Chris Jimenez, and Andy Marte.
And let's take a look at the scouting report on Scott Baker. Scott Baker making his 23rd start of the year, his 3rd against the Indians. 2 successful starts against the Indians. He ended up beating the Indians here in Minnesota back on June 4th, 11-3, and then beat them 2 starts ago in Cleveland on August 4th, 10-1. And we talked about it in the open a little bit. Over his last 13 starts, 7-1 with an ERA at 3.87. Now, he is coming off that rough start against the Tigers, but as a professional player, you put it aside. This starts a new winning streak right here.
Northland for defense for the Twins. Young, Span, Kadier in the outfield. Creedy, Cabrera, Casilla, Morneau in the infield. Mauer back behind the plate. Casilla getting a chance to start at second base. The Twins still trying to find somebody, whether it's Casilla, Punto, Matt Tolbert was there for a while. Somebody to anchor the spot at second base and be a productive hitter in the lineup.
Yeah, I don't think it's as much between Casilla and Punto defensively. It's like not being able to lay down a bunt or 2, and that's why I think Punto's on the bench here tonight and Casilla getting the opportunity.
Sizemore to lead things off, and Cabrera and Choo. Down and away, ball 1.
Well, if you have not seen Baker pitch before, he likes pitching up in the strike zone, a guy that kind of stands straight up. But his pitches, his out pitches against the Indians are going to be the breaking ball and the off-speed pitches. And that gets a piece of Sizemore right there. Baker not one to really hit a lot of guys. For Baker, only his 3rd hit batsman of the year. And Sizemore, who came in, very good success against Baker. But Baker going in with a little cutter, and Sizemore taking it off that right shoulder.
Something the Indians do well is get hit by pitches. The Twins have had 28 batters plunked. That is the 69th Cleveland batter to get hit by a pitch. Sizemore hit for just the third time. Shopik's been hit 16 times. Shin-Soo Choo hit 13 times before being traded. Ryan Garco was good, if you can assess a quality to it. He was good at getting hit by pitches too.
Here's Cabrera right here. He's off to a very good start. He's going to have a good year, hitting .310. A switch hitter is a left-handed hitter, hitting .317. All 5 of his home runs have come from this side of the plate.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Through the Kansas City series, the Twins gave up at least 1 run in the first inning of all 3 games. Of course, there was an ugly first inning in the middle of the series.
Yeah, you don't like putting yourself or your offense behind the 8 ball, and that's Baker's goal right here. Put a 0 on the board. Get a ground ball right here. Baker, more of a fly ball type pitcher.
Up and away. You know, when things were going well for this team, when they were winning both home and on the road, you know, it happened to be in June. A lot of the interleague part of the schedule that the Twins were playing through, they were putting up a lot of zeros early and giving the offense a chance to score that all-important first run.
Keep an eye on Sizemore. 10 stolen bases at first base in 18 attempts. And a throw over. Indians, like the Twins, don't run a lot. Indians with 65 stolen bases on the year. Twins with 57. Both of them playing their 115th game here tonight.
Got him. Shaving the inside corner with an off-speed pitch. Baker gets a big strikeout.
I mentioned before, it's the breaking ball, I feel, that's going to help Baker here tonight if he can get it over. And what Bob Davison, the home plate umpire, will give you. And that's a good pitch right there. Take a look at the little break. And Joe Mauer framing it right there for a strikeout.
So 1 down, and here is Shin-Soo Choo. And missing the inside corner, ball 1.
Choo in his 4th season with the Indians. Originally came up with the Seattle Mariners back in 2005. Traded over to the Indians back in July of 2006.
Ground ball to second. Flag down by Casilla. Throws him out nicely from the seat of his pants. A sharply hit ground ball, and Casilla turned it into an out.
On this turf here, the ball's going to get to you very quickly. Casilla has to go to his left, and I think he thought about going to second, but then with the momentum he had going toward right field, kind of knocked him down, and then from his buttocks being able to get the out at first base, and that's Choo. And on the play, Sizemore moving to second. So a nice defensive play right there by Alexi Casilla.
And now Johnny Peralta. Big swing and a foul. Baker hoping to pin down his 10th win of the season. The Twins have 2 pitchers with 10 wins, although Carl Pavano's won just once with the Twins. Kevin Slowey, his season ended with 10 wins. Baker hopefully will get there tonight. Blackburn should get there. He's got 8 wins.
Yeah, right-handers have had more success against Baker than left-handers. Right-handers hitting .271. That breaking ball just missing. He has given up 22 home runs, 18 to right-handed batters.
And an off-speed pitch that hits the corner. My imagination, we're seeing a lot more off-speed pitches.
That's kind of the scouting report on the Indians. You know, you have to throw a lot of breaking balls to them. They're a very good fastball hitting ball club. They're 6th in the American League in hitting at .265. Twins are 3rd, hitting at .270.
1-2 to Peralta. Fastball got him. So Baker does put up a 0 in the top of the first.
Gomez gives you that.
Barbecue at the Dome in a scoreless ball game so far. The Menards batting order for the Twins. Denard Span leading things off. Then Orlando Cabrera hitting second. Joe Mauer leading the league, hitting third. Justin Morneau's average has dipped below 300. Then Jason Kubel, Michael Kanier, Joe Crede, Delman Young, and Alexi Casilla.
And let's take a look at a scouting report on Justin Masterson, making his 8th start, only his second since coming over in the Victor Martinez trade to the Cleveland Indians from the Boston Red Sox. In his last start, 61 pitches in 4 innings. They want to stretch him out in this start, hopefully between 75 and 80 pitches. That's coming from manager Eric Wedge.
Span, Cabrera, and Mauer to face Masterson here in the first. And Span takes a strike.
Masterson, Twins have only seen him once, and that was in relief as a Boston Red Sox. Tall kid, 6'6", about 250, with a very long arm. You see, he almost slings the ball up there.
Talking with the Cleveland pitching coach Carl Willis about Masterson, and he said he throws a very heavy ball. When you're 6'6" and 250, you probably should throw a heavy ball. Everything about you is pretty heavy.
Yeah, good sinking. You saw the movement right there. Good sinking fastball in the low 90s. He'll mix in a hard slider and a changeup.
2-1 to Denard Span. And now 2-2. See if the Twins can score the first run of this game and this series. Two and two from Masterson to Span. Chop, foul. Masterson brought into the Cleveland rotation the vacancy created when the Indians traded Carl Pavano to the Twins. One of the reasons Cleveland wanted to send Pavano on his way is they wanted Masterson to come out of the pen and be a starting pitcher for them. That's what the last weeks and months of the season are all about, to find out who's going to be part of the puzzle next year. Up high, and it's 3-2. So with Pavano on the team, there really wasn't a spot open for Masterson, but now he'll be a starter the rest of the way unless something really unfortunate happens. 3-2. And another foul. So the Twins don't know much about Masterson. Span with some 2-strike fouls. This will be the 8th pitch of this plate appearance.
I mentioned Masterson, 61 pitches in his first start as a Cleveland Indian. 4 innings against the White Sox in Chicago. Gave up 4 hits, 1 run, an earned run with a walk and 4 strikeouts. Ended up getting a no decision.
And Span draws a leadoff walk. Northland Ford defense for the Indians. And it has been a work in progress. Shin-Soo Choo getting left field. We saw him in right field in Cleveland. Sizemore in center, Jimenez in right. Peralta, Cabrera, Valbuena, Marte shopping behind the plate. And Cabrera, who was a second baseman, is now a shortstop. Peralta was a shortstop, now he's a third baseman. Marte was a third baseman, now he's a first baseman.
We saw Jimenez in Cleveland catch and also play first, and now he's in right field. And Choo was in right, and now he's in left.
Here's Cabrera trying to extend his hitting streak, showing bunt and taking ball 1.
It'll be interesting to see with Masterson in the stretch position with that long arm how long he takes to get to the catcher. And Span leads the club with 18 stolen bases.
I think the stopwatches are getting a workout here. The first time the Twins get a base runner. See how long he is to the plate. And he's off the plate again, 2-0.
There's Jerry White with a stopwatch. Masterson, 24 years old, born in Jamaica, where his father was a minister. Makes his home in Ohio.
And a fastball over the inside corner.
Well, Cabrera, of course, on that hitting streak, a 22-game hitting streak, a career high. And over the hitting streak, he's hitting .351.
Span goes. Cabrera taps it foul, 2-2.
Yeah, Span got a pretty good jump right there. He got a pretty good jump because Masterson is trying to utilize that slide step, but because of that long arm, it might take him a split second for that arm to catch up. And that's what the Twins are going to look at. Watch it jump right here. You see how long he takes to get that ball. Maybe a little hit and run put on right there, only because Span was looking in. A lot of times when it's a straight steal, the runner like Span will not look in. He'll just go directly to second.
Masterson really slings it in there. You know, you can imagine your right-handed batter and the ball just at 95 miles an hour is on you in a hurry. 2-2.
Well, the Boston Red Sox were very high on Masterson, you know, and they're an organization right now that needs starting pitching. But to get Victor Martinez, they had to give him up.
3-2. Shopik with a glance toward first. So now Span, who walked on a 3-2 pitch, might very well be taking off on a 3-2 pitch.
I'd have to say he's going. What you want to do here as a base runner, make sure he throws home. Don't try to leave too early.
Span goes on another foul. Of course, one of the costly at-bats in the ball game yesterday was Cabrera bouncing into a double play in the 6th inning. Royals had walked 3 batters. Looked like the Twins were going to get to and get over the top, take the lead, but the 6th inning rally fizzled.
Well, it was a tailor-made double play too. It was hit right to the second baseman, Hyosmo. All he had to do was step on the bag and throw over to first.
3-2 again to Orlando Cabrera. And another foul. So all of these at-bats, the 2 full count at-bats so far, has seen Masterson's pitch count climb to 16 already.
Yeah, with nobody out yet.
Good spot to extend the hitting streak for Cabrera with Mauer on deck. Morneau to follow. 3-2. Span goes. Popped up, short right. Valbuena into right field. Here comes the right field. The ball is dropped. Cabrera will reach safely. Span forced at second. So Valbuena with Jimenez hitting the deck in short right field dropped the ball, but they still get the force.
Well, the communication right there. I think Valbuena maybe heard Jimenez right at the last second. You see the high pop-up right here. Valbuena going out, and then right there just maybe losing sight of the ball. I have it. But then the ball hitting the heel of the glove, and then barehanding it and getting the force out. Span really had no place to go. But back to first, and then it was too late. So no error on the play. It's just a fielder's choice. 4-6. Span at second.
Down and in, ball one. Chrysler Keystat. Joe Mauer with a 12-point lead over Ichiro in the batting race, but also leading in slugging percentage and on base percentage. A phenomenal year for a guy who, well, there was some thought spring training might not even play this year, as injured and hurt as he was. 2-0. They're the only guys since 1950 to have led the league in those three categories. So awfully impressive days. Fred Lynn, a phenomenal player, and he's the only one there not in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Two 2-0 now to Mauer, with Masterson struggling with his control. A foul ball, 2-1.
Mauer hitting .387 here at the Metrodome this year.
The average starting to climb again. Remember, it was over 400 for most of the first 2 months of the season. Then dropped down into the 350s, and now it's up to 370.
And a lot of those hits coming off of right-handed pitchers. He's hitting .413 against right-handed pitchers.
Breaking ball over, and the count is even. 12-point lead in the batting race that Mauer is enjoying is because he has taken off with his average, and Ichiro's average has remained in the 350 range. 358 coming into play today. 2-2. And Mauer got a piece of it. 22 pitches already from Masterson. And again, he's on a pitch count. He's got a little bit longer leash tonight than he had in his first start, but they're still going to be very careful with him as they stretch him out into a starting pitcher somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 pitches.
Yeah, again, Eric Wedge saying between 75 and 80 pitches is where they would like Masterson. The way he's going right now, it should be in about the third inning.
3-2, and all three batters have had full counts. So we'll see if Cabrera goes on the 3-2 pitch, and Morneau on deck.
Cabrera, good, very smart base runner. 11 stolen bases in 15 attempts. Sure, he'll be going here.
There he goes, and the pitch into short center, and it'll drop for a hit. A base hit for Mauer, with Cabrera gliding to third.
A good read off the bat by Cabrera right there. Mauer getting jammed, but hitting it, and strong enough to hit it to short center field. And we all love Joe Mauer. He continues to swing a hot bat. The breaking ball on the inner half of the plate, and see Cabrera right there. He just followed the ball and said no. Valbuena, the second baseman, he's not going to be able to catch it. And he scoots over to third. But Mauer with that base hit, now an 11-game hitting streak.
And now here's Morneau.
Now, you mentioned earlier that batting average under 300. First time that Justin has been under 300 since April 28th. So it's been a while. So let's get that batting average back up over the 300 mark.
Sinker low, ball one. fallen back in the home run race.
Still leading in the RBI, 6 over Evan Longoria with 91 RBI on the year.
And Morneau. So a 3-ball count to everybody so far here in this first inning. Kubel on deck.
Masterson so far living on the edge.
Sharply hit, backhanded by Cabrera, and he'll start a 6-4-3 double play. So a walk, a single. And Morneau with a hot ground ball that's turned into 2, and it's a scoreless first.
Okay, I'm gonna just talk about how important it is for the Twins to get a lead first, and defense is one of the things going to help them get there. Welcome back to the Metrodome, where after 1 inning of play, we've got a scoreless ball game. And one of the reasons we know the Twins can play defense, one of the great examples of that is Alexi Casilla, second base. Watch this play with a runner on first. A hard hit ball to his right. He had a tough in-between hop, so he had to go to his knees to make sure he fielded the play. Real nice play by Alexi, not getting too greedy. If it had been a bigger hop, I think he'd have wheeled and thrown to second base to get the lead runner, but he recognized a tough hop, went to his knees to make sure he got an out.
Thank you, sir. And Travis Hafner will lead off the second for the Indians. Hafner, then Valbuena and Shopik. As we showed you before, Hafner has really enjoyed hitting against Scott Baker. Fouled away. And it's 1-1.
Hafner still has problems with that right shoulder. 11 home runs, 30 RBI for Hafner.
On the outside corner, 1-2. Hafner's had some injury issues, but it just seems strange. Here we are in the middle of August, and he has 30 runs batted in. He's struggled this year with men on base, and he used to be one of the top run producers in the league. Half swing, strike 3, 1 away.
And another breaking ball right there. Scott Baker picking up his 3rd strikeout.
He did there what you've been asking him to do for a long time, to bounce the ball, right?
Get that curveball down in the zone.
This Sunday night at Petco Park in San Diego, the USA's best high school baseball players take the national stage in the 7th annual AFLAC, All-American High School Baseball Classic. Greg Biggio will be part of the broadcast team. Game time 7 o'clock Central here on Fox Sports North. Here's Luis Valbuena. Popped up, short right. Casilla out, and Kadire with a long run in from right field to make the catch, 2 away.
Boy, you love those as a pitcher when somebody swings at that first pitch for that big second out. Now Baker pitched against the Cleveland Indians here back on June 4th. He had a career high 10 strikeouts in that ball game. As the Twins won that ball game 11-3. It's a game he pitched against Fausto Carmona.
Shopping taking his time getting set, with Masterson having to pitch through a long but scoreless bottom of the first, and Shopping takes strike one. Some people thought the way Shopping came on in the second half last year that he might eventually replace Victor Martinez behind the plate and turn Martinez into a full-time first baseman. And then Shopping in the following season hasn't had the offensive production, but he finds himself behind the plate anyway with the trade of Martinez.
He came over from the Boston Red Sox back in 2005. Last year, 21 home runs. 21 home runs, the most by any American League catcher, but this year with 9.
One and two. Bounce to third. Creedy backhands it. Fires it across the diamond. Morneau with a stretch in the other corner, and the inning's over. 6 in a row. Set down by Scott Baker.
Oh, Trev, by the way, he's going to be in Texas on Monday and Kansas City on Friday, so we can revisit it if you want.
And the Phillies are winning. 2-1.
They were down 1-0.
Chase Utley hit a 2-run homer.
Where you got it? Blackburn?
No, it's up there.
Oh.
Set it up there.
All right, we're back at 30. Yeah, no, good. Thank you. Yeah, it's Dave, his partner. Oh, well, I'm going to mention Dave if we have time.
Jim.
Welcome back to Twins baseball. It's a scoreless game headed into the second inning. I'm Robbie Smikowski, and again, I am high above the third base line with Harry Scott, 75 years of age, making the ultimate trip. Show him the shirt again. 30 games, 30 cities in 30 days. This is stop number 9 here in Minneapolis. And Harry, the first question we have to ask, what is the planning process like for a trip like this?
As soon as the schedules come out in November and December, I put them on the living room floor with maps and I work on it for literally weeks it takes to work it out.
Now, this is trip number 9. The last 24 hours involved a trip from Denver, Colorado to here. Where do you go from here?
To Milwaukee, then to St. Louis, and then on Monday night I'll be able to see the Twins again down in Texas.
You'll see the Twins in Texas and Kansas City, so hopefully we could follow up with you. Your friend Dave making the trip. Get this, Bert. Dave's on the trip for 6 games of this 30-day trip. And I asked him if he's ever done 6 games in 6 days before. He said, no way, let alone a guy like this. 75 years of age going 30 and 30.
That's awesome. That is totally awesome. That man loves the game of baseball. I thought he was going to have a hot dog in the second inning.
Who, Robbie?
No, the gentleman there. Said he is going to have a hot dog in all 30 stadiums, or all 30 games that he sees.
Well, his cardiologist would love that. 2-1 to Jason Kubel. It'll be Kubel, Kadire, and Creedy here in the bottom of the second inning. Inside.
Kubel has enjoyed hitting against the Cleveland Indians this year. In the 9 games, Kubel's hitting .343 with 5 home runs, 5 of the 19 coming against the Indians.
And Masterson has had 3 ball counts to the first 5 batters here tonight, and he's just issued his second leadoff walk.
Let's go down to Robbie maybe about the hot dog that gentleman wants to have.
You know, I asked him about that, and I asked him if he could get a dome dog down his throat. He stopped at the Mall of America on the way here and had a big Stromboli. He said the best hot dog he's had so far is the Dodger dog in L.A. I said, give the dome dog a shot, Harry. He goes, oh, that Stromboli was gigantic. I took one look at the dome dog, no shot.
Here's Michael Kadire.
Those Dodger dogs are good.
I think I had one when we went out to do
the
Dodger series. I think just because I've heard so much about them, you had to have one. They are good. They are very good. So are the dome dogs.
Dome dogs are too. But did you get the foot long? They have the foot long.
No, just the standard size. Then there's the Fenway Frank, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are good. What do they call it? The Target Field.
I don't think you can go wrong with a ballpark hot dog anywhere.
1-1 to Kadire. And Kadire takes a strike, and for a rare at bat, Masterson's actually ahead on the count.
Well, coming into this ballgame, left-handers are hitting .310 off of Masterson. Right-handers are hitting only .225.
1-2 to Kadire. Tap foul. Got a whale of a pitcher's duel going on at Comerica Park. Zach Greinke for the Royals, Jared Washburn for the Tigers, scoreless going to the 7th inning. I mean, we're just in the bottom of the second here. Now I know Detroit started an hour before us. They're already in the 7th inning.
Well, we saw it, Washburn, he got beat up a little bit by the Twins, but he likes to work quick as Greinke. Both those guys attack the strike zone.
1-2. Kadire strikes out on an off-speed pitch. First strikeout.
You kind of see why right-handers have a tough time. That was a big sweeping slider there.
For information on season tickets, here's Justin Morneau.
They say baseball is a game of numbers. For example, Twins lower level ticket plans start at just $380. Help celebrate our last season at the Dome. Call this number and become a Twins season ticket holder today. Thank you for your support.
And thank you, Justin.
Here's Joe Creedy. Inside ball 1.
I mentioned about Kadire right there. I mean, you see Masterson, that sinker in on righties, and then that big sweeping breaking ball. You almost have to give one up.
That's lifted to right. Jimenez with the catch, out number 2. Roy Smalley, your thoughts about Justin Masterson so far?
Well, you guys are talking about how much better he is against right-handers and left-handers. I can attest to that. This is the kind of guy that made me a switch hitter, or right-handed only. It's slinging it from the side, and the reason is that slinging action, the ball has really, really good sink, and it bears down and in, and it makes you a right-hander really want to be quick to get out in front, and then he throws that slurve that we saw him throw right there to Michael Kadire. And you're right, Bert, it's almost one or the other, because that ball is diving hard in on the fastballs, and it's almost impossible to hit both of them. Left-handers have a much better opportunity. I've always liked this guy's arm. I loved him in Boston, and I think his only problem is going to be whether or not he can throw enough consistent strikes to get that good stuff over the plate.
A towering fly ball to short left. Cabrera calling for it, and he makes the catch. That's a tall one, and it came down eventually into the glove of Cabrera. And for the second inning in a row, Masterson pitches around to lead off 1. This Minnesota Moment brought to you by Explore Minnesota. Visit exploreminnesota.com. Plan your next Minnesota vacation today. Beautiful country up there. Lake of the Woods and the Rainy River area near Baudette in northwestern Minnesota. The walleye fishing capital of the world. 317,000 acres of Minnesota water in the Lake of the Woods, including the Northwest Angle and Islands. The northernmost part of the lower 48 states. And the limited walleye fishing that I've done up there, the walleyes look a little bit different up there. They've got a more golden tint to them up there than they do down here. They still taste awfully good. 1-1 to Chris Jimenez.
Well, you see it at 3 home runs by Jimenez. His first major league home run came here back on June 4th against Scott Baker in his 3rd major league at bat. Breaking ball right there. Baker again beat the Indians that day on June 4th 11-3. Worked 7 innings, gave up only 6 hits. Career high 10 strikeouts. And then back here on August 4th in Cleveland, he shut out the Indians in 7 innings.
2-strike fastball up and in.
Baker making his 14th career start against the Indians. He has 5 wins, 5 losses.
Tap foul. I think we've seen Baker here tonight do a couple things you've asked Twins pitchers to do. We talked about the breaking ball in the dirt that struck out Hafner, but also that 1-2 fastball that wasn't going to hit the hitter, but it did straighten him up.
Work both sides of the plate. Do not let that hitter feel comfortable at the plate. Mauer now sitting down and away.
And the pitch popped up to short right center field. Span in front of Cuddyer. 1 away. Tonight's Radio Shack, what do you know? It's the longest game in Metrodome history. A 22-inning marathon between the Twins and the Cleveland Indians. August 31st into September 1st, 1993. The game lasted 6 hours and 17 minutes. And finally, Pedro Munoz sent us home with a home run in the 22nd inning. Tell me about it. I had to broadcast that game. Tapper left side. Creedy charges and digs out the low hop and fires across 2 down.
Nice play.
I've never been so happy to see a Twin player hit a home run this side of Kirby Puckett in the World Series. Pitch left up and away, and Munoz sent us home.
Where'd all the people go?
You know, this is 1993. There weren't that many here to start with. And all he could do was walk in from third base. 2 down, and here's Sizemore. I was a fairly newly married man at the time, and my wife knew exactly where I was, even though I dragged myself in about 1:32 in the morning. Strike on the outside corner. Sizemore hit by a pitch, with Baker coming up and into the left-handed batter to start the ball game. The only runner so far for the Indians. And again coming up and in with a breaking pitch. 1-1.
Well, Sizemore, one of those hitters. He has good success against Scott Baker. 12 hits and 34 at bats. That's a .353 batting average. See the defense, how they play Sizemore.
And now 1-2. Sizemore deciding at this point simply to play through it. He's got an elbow injury that will require some surgery during the offseason.
Yeah, the left elbow of Sizemore.
Swing and a miss. And Baker has not given up a hit and has retired 9 men in a row. Final score, bottom of the third. Alexi Casilla will lead things off. Justin Masterson has thrown 42 pitches, nearly half of them out of the strike zone, and he's issued 2 leadoff walks, but has put up a couple of zeros. Oh, what a beautiful bunt if it stays fair.
You have to let her try to roll foul. Oh, it's hugging the line. It's hugging the line.
That was about as pretty a bunt as you'll see, and Casilla's aboard with a beautifully dropped down bunt.
Yeah, Peralta at third base had only one hope, and that if the ball would roll foul, and it looked like it was going that way, and then it went back and hugged the line. Watch this ball right here, right there. It looks like it's going to go foul, but no.
Oh
boy!
And that looked like it had rolled foul almost and rolled back.
I think you have to look down at the ball, and the ball was actually still. Take a look, see.
You're right.
Oh,
there,
boy.
it's foul. Maybe, I don't know.
What?
You don't expect, given the angle it was taking, that it would roll back, and now Span bunts it in the air. Foul. Lenny Randall did it once, and Kevin Seitzer did it here.
Right.
With the shorter artificial turf. He got down on his hands and knees and tried to blow it foul.
Yeah, Lenny Randall did it in Seattle.
Well, here's Span, who drew a walk in the first inning. Peralta in at third. Of course, Marte holding the runner Casilla at first. Roll to the right side, and it'll bleed through. Casilla's rounding second, on his way to third, and Jimenez has no play. So the bunt single, then a 4-hopper through the right side, and the Twins have something going here in the third.
Well, with Marte holding Casilla on, Span, this ball had eyes. They always say sometimes a baseball has eyes, and this ball, a good sinker, gets the ground ball, but right in the gap, right there in the right field, and Casilla hustles from first to third. So far, so good. I mean, Roy Smalley talked about in the pregame. I talked about it. A starter, put some zeros on the board. Hopefully your offense will get you some runs. And now the Twins hopefully can get Baker some runs here in the third.
First and third, nobody out. Cabrera at the plate. Pounded foul. 1 strike. Nice catch by Scotty Elger. Now it's the curse of a sinker baller we saw with Carlos Silva. You can make a good pitch, you can get the hitter to do exactly what you want him to do, but if it's hit in the wrong direction, it creates more trouble than when you started with.
But it worked in his favor against Justin Morneau when he was ahead, behind 3-0. He threw that sinker down and away, and Justin hit the double play.
I'll never forget Carlos Silva's playoff start here against the Yankees. He didn't last very long, and well, it seemed like the Yankees got 6 ground ball hits in 1 inning to knock him out. And Carlos he was pitching pretty good, and they were just hitting it through the holes. Breaking ball sweeps across the front edge of the plate, and it's 0-2. Cabrera, who had 2 strikes on him in the first at bat, hoping to prolong matters here and get a ball to the outfield.
Masterson does a great job of keeping that left shoulder in, throws the glove out, and then here comes the arm. Again, right-handers hitting only .225 because he does a good job of hiding the ball.
Two strikes to Cabrera. Strikeout. That'll bring up Mauer with the runners on the corners and 1 out.
Well, second strikeout. Take a look at Masterson's delivery right here. See how he drives that shoulder down. And we'll get a behind home plate view. And all of a sudden, here comes the ball. And that ball had tremendous spin on it. Cabrera struck out.
Mauer just chipped a single into center field his first time up. Then Morneau hit into a double play, and Masterson hoping to get another ground ball hit at somebody here. This would seem to be, for someone who doesn't know anything about hitting, would be a favorable matchup for Mauer from the standpoint is the one thing that sinker ballers get left-handed batters to do is roll over on the ball, but Mauer is so good at hitting pitches that are down and away from him to the opposite field, like Morneau did.
If Masterson leaves the pitch up, that sinker up, that's when he gets hurt.
Span takes off, and he's in with a stolen base. So by doing that, the Twins rule out the possibility of a double play, and we'll see how the Indians play their infield now.
Good jump right there by Span. Stolen base number 19 on the year. See, that's a straight steal. He did not look in. He went directly to the bag.
Indians, of course, will have the infield back early in the game. But even if Mauer hits a ground ball at Valbuena, it'll be an out, but a run should score. Speed on the bases with Casilla at third and Span at second. And now first base, of course, open, so we'll see how gingerly they pitch to Mauer with Morneau on deck. Two and one. 3-1. Roy, your thoughts about Mauer and how he might fare against the Masterson, a sinker baller?
The one big advantage, the biggest, I think, advantage that Joe has in this matchup is just what we're seeing, his ability to lay off sinkers when they're down. He knows that ball's sinking, that sinks below the strike zone, and he just will not swing at that ball, and so he makes the pitcher come up where he can hit it, and you see there he gets 3-1. They don't want any part of him. 3-1. They'll take their chances with Justin with a chance to get a double play on one of those sinkers. But Joe's biggest advantage, he just will not bite on a knee-high sinker that's going to end up ankle-high.
Here's Morneau, hit a hot ground ball, but to the backhand side of Cabrera, who made a nice catch and then started a nice 6-4-3 double play. Pulled through the hole to right. Casilla will score. Span will score. Mauer to third. And the Twins have a 2-0 lead.
Well, Justin, who had been struggling at the plate, getting that batting average under.
Trav, I'd like to talk about.
He went up there, right there, with some vengeance. After hitting into the double play to end the first inning, he jumped on that first pitch and lined it on the ground right through first and second. 2 RBI for Morneau, now at 93 on the year, as Casilla and Span score. Carl Willis out to the mound, our quick trip to the mound, and Roy Smalley.
Hey, Bert Blyleven, I got to tell you that a very, very overlooked part of Joe Mauer's brilliance on a baseball field is how good a base runner he is. With one out there, going from first to third, hustling in here, right in front of me into third base, to keep a man on third with less than 2 out for Jason Kubel. Terrific base running play to recognize how important that was for him to get over here.
As a right fielder, I mean, Jimenez right there, he came up and threw that ball home. He did hit the cutoff man, but the great hustle of Joe Mauer.
And Kubel rifles one to center field. Mauer will score. Morneau will dig for third and reach safely. So the Twins aggressively attacking Masterson early in the count. A 2-run first pitch single by Morneau. And then a line drive single on the first pitch off the bat of Kubel.
Yeah, Kubel picking up his 64th RBI of the year. Jumping on that sinker and getting underneath it and lining it right into center field. Mauer scoring the 3rd run, and good hustle. They know they can run on Sizemore because of the sore left elbow. And that's what Justin did right there.
Here's Cuddyer. After that breaking ball again and a swing and a miss. That's the pitch that struck him out in the second. batter to be retired here in the third inning, Cabrera, who struck out. And all of this nice 3-run inning so far, all started with a bunt single. Inside, 1-1. Inside, and Kadire fouls it. 1-2.
That's where that sinker inside. I mean, he struck him out on that slider. Kadire saying, you know, he's not going to get me out there again, and then he runs that sinker in on you, and then you beat that ball right into your foot. Ball inner half of the plate with some run. Kadire, who wears that
That's what made me a switch hitter.
That's what made Roy Smalley a switch hitter.
That's right.
1-2 to Kadire. Chopper to short. Cabrera to Valbuena, and a double play. So a ground ball hit at somebody. Second inning-ending double play, but before the end of the inning, the Twins put 3 up on the board. Get into the game on FSN and talk baseball. Submit a question to us online at carsoup.com/baseball. Ryan Johnson of Otsego wondering, now that the Twins are getting a new ballpark, will they get an all-star game soon? Counting today's game, 24 regular season games left indoors. The year I keep hearing about is 2014. Where the All-Star game would be played here in Minnesota for the third time, 1965, 1985. Swing and a miss, 2 strikes. And now the hope is, no confirmation certainly, but that baseball would return its All-Star game to Minnesota in 2014. Foul and out of play. You were at the 85 All-Star game, right? Representing the Cleveland Indians.
Yes, and then later right after the All-Star game, I got traded to here. Back to Minnesota.
Up high, and it's 1-2. Such a great event. The best baseball players in the United States and Canada. Half swing, and it's 2-2.
And now all around the world.
Yep. And it used to be just the game, but now the festivities, more so before. Afterwards, everybody kind of scatters, but there's a big fan fest, all sorts of parties and hoopla. That's hit to left center. Span chasing it, can't get there, and it's going to bounce off the wall for the first Cleveland hit. Cabrera has a 4th inning leadoff double.
Yeah, Baker right there left the breaking ball up, and that ball was slicing away from Span. Great effort by him and Young, but Span was not going to be able to catch up to it because of the way that ball came off his bat. Right there, just took it the other way, and that ball has some slice on it. Span having to play it, the carom off the wall and get it back in. And for Cabrera, his 28th double of the year.
Shin-Soo Choo will hit. Baker hoping for better results here. It's the second time he's been pitching, second time in a row. He's been pitching in the 4th inning with a 3-0 lead. Down and in, ball 1 in Detroit in a very important game for the Twins. Had a chance to win the series against the Tigers, maybe build a little momentum. And Twins gave Baker a 3-0 lead going to the bottom of the 4th, and then he suddenly couldn't get anybody out. Tigers scored 4 and never looked back. 1-1.
Well, Baker making his 23rd start, his 99th major league start. So he knows what his job is right here, and that's to try to get his team back on the bench.
Fouled away, 1-2. Choo with a ground ball to second. He'd like to at least provide that here for the Indians and advance Cabrera up to third.
Now the Twins have Carl Pavano in the starting rotation. Baker he's second now as far as the most major league starts. And I think they're going to feed off of Carl Pavano. He's had 2 pretty good starts. Of course, that great start against the Tigers. Then he had that one bad inning, the 3rd inning in yesterday's ball game. Good pitch.
Hop up, and Cabrera will make the catch, 1 away. Well, on the subject of pitching and the subject of Target Field, our Dodge Game Break taking you to the construction site, where today a significant step forward, the installation of the pitcher's mound.
Get it higher. Get it higher.
They've already put 6 tons of dirt over there.
Higher. Higher. I think baseball ought to go back to that 15-inch mound. It's at the 10-inch mound now. The way these ballparks are built, the smaller ballparks, it's all about offense. Give the pitchers advantage. Go back to that 15-inch mound like they did in 1968.
Let them scuff the ball.
No, I'm not talking about scuffing the ball. I'm talking about the height of, and you're only talking 5 inches, so you know that's where it's at right now. I'm just going up just a little bit.
But that's a 50% increase in the height of the mound.
That's okay. That's okay. I mean, Bob Gibson had that great year. Denny McClain had the great year. Drysdale had that great year.
And fans yawned through the 1968 season. It was boring.
Loved the 1-0.
It was boring. Oh.
When's the last time you've seen a 1-0 ball game?
1991 World Series.
Yeah, really.
Well, those guys would all love it if the mound were raised. We talked about this, was the last weekend in Detroit, I guess, when Dennis Eckersley came by. But to me, what's amazing about that is they took so much off the mound. It was 15 and they cut it down to 10. They didn't stop at 12 or 13 inches. There's a called strike 2 and 1. Now, you weren't even in the big league, so you weren't part of the debate. But how do you take 1/3 of the mound down?
You know what you'd see? You'd see Baker bending his back, because that's what a higher mound does. Don McMahon, who was my pitching coach here and then also in Cleveland, he always had us in spring training work off a high mound, a 15-inch mound. So we would drive and really extend ourselves. You almost fall off the mound to where you utilize your lower back leg muscles and your back itself really to stretch out. And then we go back, of course, to the 10-inch mound, but we were conditioned to think about driving down toward home plate.
First 3-ball count for Baker. It's 3-1 to Peralta, who struck out swinging in the first. To center. Span has time to make the catch. Out number 2.
Well, so far, so good for Baker. A leadoff double by Cabrera, and he's still at second base now with 2 outs.
It cost the Twins in the ball game yesterday. The Twins got a leadoff double from Nick Punto, and Denard Span didn't advance him to third base. And so now you look at Shin-Soo Choo, the Indians here. After Cabrera's double, he didn't get the job done either.
That's a good pitch by Baker, inner half of the plate, and Choo popped it up to Cabrera at short.
Here's Hafner.
Not that Cabrera, our Cabrera.
Hafner struck out swinging on a half swing on a breaking pitch in the dirt. An awkward swing there. One strike. Well, you could always go over to Target Field tonight under the cover of darkness and shovel a couple more inches of dirt onto the pitcher's mound.
Yeah, but then that guy would come around from the American League or Major League Baseball and, with his little machine and say, it's got to be 10 inches. But there's other ways around it.
I was going to ask you about that. One strike. And that's strike two. And Hafner's had some awkward swings.
Two good sliders right there. See, what I had the ground crew do, and I'm no longer in the ball game or in the game, so it doesn't really matter to me. A good pitch right there. But where Baker's left foot lands, you just take some of that dirt out right there. You see that?
Yeah.
You just take some of that out. Just kind of go a little bit lower. So you still have the good drop off.
Two strikes. And he nearly got a call third strike inside.
Good try right there by Baker.
Bob Davidson did not call a very close pitch, right strike
there.
3.
Well, maybe a little inside. Again, the umpire right over the shoulder of Mauer. That ball sometimes has to have just a little bit of a plate. He might give you more away.
They've really been pounding the ball inside on Hafner. Baker trying to pitch around the leadoff double. All right, let's say you pitched into 25 different major league mounds. You spent a few years in the National League. Everybody in the major. How much variance was there in the height of the mound from ballpark to ballpark?
You know what? It was all depending on the grass or how the infield was built up to the mound. In Kansas City, when they had the turf, it was a flat infield, so the mound seemed higher. But here they kind of build up the infield a little bit to the mound. This is a very good mound. I felt like I was right on top of the hitter on this mound here at the Metro.
1-2.
Oh boy, that's a good pitch right there. That is a knee-high fastball. This will give us the best view right there. Wow, that's just a missed call.
Hafner lucky to have this at bat alive.
And you hope it doesn't hurt Baker right here.
Gardenhire with a slight shake of the head. Yep. 2-2. Popped up, skied. Casilla tracking it all the way, making the catch. So Baker,
you look like you for a second.
That's not good. Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Quest. Get free 2 gigs online backup service with Quest high-speed internet. By Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. Expect grand. And by Chrysler. From power and efficiency to innovation and style, it's the way our vehicles come together that sets us apart. Chrysler. Bottom third of the Twins lineup starting with Joe Creedy facing Justin Masterson. Masterson just throwing his 60th pitch, averaging about 20 pitches per inning, so this might be his last inning of work, depending on what happens, of course. 1-0. 2-0.
You wonder if the Boston Red Sox will miss Masterson, only because I remember when they called him up. He started the season in AAA, but you know what? It was John Farrell. I remember when we were playing the Red Sox, he said that he is such a big part of their bullpen.
Chopped to third, kicked by Peralta, and Creedy will reach on an error. Peralta looked like he just stuck the glove down and hoped that the ball would find it.
Yeah, he kind of did a one-handed right there, where we've seen Joe Creedy come in and try to get 2 hands. You see him right there try to one-hand it, rather than maybe, I know Roy Smalley's right down there, I think. But you see that there, that's not the way to play that ball.
No, it's not, Bert. He got caught in between. That's one of those do-or-die plays at third. If he plays back for the big hop, he can't throw him out. You got to get the short hop. He just wasn't quick enough to get there.
But I'm saying on that play right there, his right hand wasn't really near the glove. He didn't want to get his body in front of it. He just tried to reach out.
You know, Bert, you almost have to one-hand that ball, because if you have both hands, it shortens up your left hand. You can't get far enough out to get that short hop. He just didn't get all the way to it, and he was a little slow in reacting to try and move up and get that short hop. But basically, on a short hop play like this, you got to stretch out like a first baseman. See, he hesitated right there, and then had to come in, and he knew he had to get the short hop. And you know, he who hesitates is lost. He had to come in and one-hand that ball. He just didn't get to it.
Well, Creedy made a great play on Marte earlier in the ball game, that he charged the ball, and right there, that little bit of hesitation cost him an error.
That's exactly right. Joe made the same play, one-handed the ball, but he got the short hop. He had no hesitation at all. As soon as the ball was hit, he was charging it, and once you get to that short hop, it's really an easy play.
You saw Creedy's confusion with strike 3 to Young and first base occupied. Young could not advance on the wild pitch. Creedy wasn't sure exactly what had happened, whether it was a foul tip or not, and started going back to first base. So Young strikes out. Creedy to second on a wild pitch.
Yeah, the wild pitch right here. Good sinker, but right on the other side of the plate, gets away from Kelly Shopik. And Creedy thought about it, but then go to second. Go to second. Umpire will always tell you to go back.
Strike 1 to Casilla. Oh, the importance of being able to bunt. It cost the Twins a game yesterday, perhaps. Certainly it did in Detroit. And Casilla led off the third inning with a roller up the line that went to the line, and if anything, rolled back across the line into fair territory. Down and in, 1-1, and from there the Twins got another single, a couple of other hits, and an intentional walk, and before he knew it, they had 3 runs.
Yeah, coulda, shoulda, woulda. You know, that's the game that played yesterday. It didn't work out, and hopefully, you know, the Twins learned from that. And that's what they talk about. You know, we have to do the little things. Nick Punto said that. He knows that he didn't, you know, lay down the bunt.
It's just fascinating how many games, most of them it seems, if they're decided by 2 runs or less, it's one little play within the game that'll never make highlight reels. It's not a 3-run double or anything like that. But the defining moment in the game so often is something that fans probably forget about the next day, but it's that play or the play that isn't made that determines a winner and a loser.
And historically, the Twins have always come out ahead because they're able to do those little things.
2-2 to Casilla, and he fights it off down the line. A fair ball. Creedy around third. He's going to score, and a good night at the plate for Alexi Casilla.
Casilla just kind of waited nicely on this pitch and just slapping it down the left field line. Look at that right there, waiting nicely, almost losing his balance, And that ball stays fair. And by the time he could get down that first baseline, Chu out in left field did a great job at getting to that ball and kept Casilla to a single. But an RBI single for Casilla. He picks up his 12th RBI of the year on his second hit.
Casilla taking his helmet off and dusting himself off.
So the air on the wild pitch, and the Twins have scored another run.
I don't know if Casilla's Ron Gardenhire and Rick Anderson getting some commentary from Bob Davidson, the home plate umpire. 4-0 Twins. Here's Span. A walk on the first, a single, a stolen base, and a run scored in the third. Bottom of the ninth already at Comerica Park, a game that's about 2 hours and 15 minutes old. Still no score. Inside corner to Span. 0-1.
Manager Eric Wedge saying that he wanted Masterson to throw between 75 and 80 pitches, and right now with 71. Here with one out in the fourth inning.
I'd like him to get through this inning. There's no one warming up. Casilla goes, pitches up, Shopik's throw. Casilla is safe. I hope the ball didn't hit him. It looked like it deflected off of Cabrera's glove. And Cabrera, had he caught the ball, might have had an automatic tag of Casilla. Everybody okay?
Hey, Roy, I know you're down there. It's got to be hard as a shortstop to come here. Right here, Kelly Shopik's throw right into the runner. But a ball right there looked like Cabrera maybe took his eye off, or maybe the runner right here, Casilla, blocking him.
Well, he took his eye off the ball a little bit. The throw was into the runner, and right into Alexi, and he just kind of olayed just a little bit there at the end.
Span slices one foul.
That's a stolen base for Casilla, his 8th stolen base of the year in 8 attempts.
I like the way Cabrera came up into the line and waited for the ball to get to him rather than running up in front and trying to sweep tag back at the runner. You have to let the ball get to you and try to catch the ball right on the runner. He just didn't stay with it.
You could almost see the frustration in Cabrera's face right there, as I should have caught that ball.
1-2 to Span. Takes the breaking ball, and it's 2-2. One more hit would push Span's batting average over 300. One more hit would push Morneau's batting average over 300.
Jess Todd starting to loosen up in the bullpen for the Indians.
Still 2-2.
.75 pitches, 44 for strikes, 3 walks in a ball game, 1 intentional, with 3 strikeouts for Masterson. Trying to get out of the 4th inning here.
Brandon Inge has just homered, and the Tigers have beaten the Royals 1-0. Down and away, and it's 3-2.
Carl Willis, a train, sitting next to Eric Wedge. Eric Wedge in his 7th season as manager of the Cleveland Indians, and hopefully not his last.
Yeah, a lot of rumblings about the future of Eric Wedge and the coaching staff.
Not his fault.
Span wastes another pitch, and the pitch count mounts now to 77. Only 10 outs on the board, but in reality, only 8 batters have been retired. Remember that Masterson's gotten 2 ground ball double plays.
Wasn't Eric Wedge the youngest manager come into the game, and along was he 34 years old, I believe.
He was managing the Buffalo team, the AAA team, and got the job over Joel Skinner, who remains on his staff. And Span draws his second walk. There's a guy in the Cleveland system that eventually will manage, if not the Indians, somebody else. Travis Fryman's doing a pretty good job managing the lower levels of the Cleveland farm system.
And here comes Carl Willis, former Twin, now the pitching coach for Eric Wedge, out to the mound.
I think you mentioned that Justin Masterson is the first pitcher born in Jamaica. Who are the other three? Can we go ahead and answer it, or should we just let Steve S. ponder it for a while?
Let's let Steve S. ponder it, as I do too.
Well, brothers.
How about Devon White?
He'd be one of them, yeah.
Devon White. Oh, you know what? One was a former Twin. That's right.
Yep.
He was a neighbor of mine in California. And he actually left the Angels to come here, and they won the World Series in 1991.
Former teammate of Carl Willis's.
Right.
Who just has returned to the dugout now. Cabrera with 2 on, 1 in, and 1 out. Up and in, ball 1.
Cabrera would like to keep that hitting streak going right here. 22-game hitting streak, a career high. Base hit here might get him an RBI too.
Ooh, goes to the backstop. Shopik with a lunge at the end to make the catch. 2-0.
Yeah, Masterson making his 17th career start. He made 9 starts last year for the Red Sox, mainly out of the bullpen. This is his 70th appearance at the major league level.
Fouled back. Cabrera got one up. 2-0 and fouled it straight back. Masterson's former team better watch it. They might not make it in the playoffs.
Right. That's why I asked. I wonder if they missed it.
Yeah. Texas in a wild card matchup, leading Boston tonight 2-0. And if the Rangers win that game, the Rangers will move ahead of the Red Sox in the wild card standings. 2-1. And now 3-1. And Masterson just looks like he's run out of gas here a little bit. 8th 3-ball count. This is just the 20th plate appearance. 3-1. Back-to-back walks have filled the bases, and that might be the end of the night for Justin Masterson.
And here comes the manager, Eric Wedge, out to make a move. And
Jess Todd will come into a ticklish spot with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Keep your head up, young man. Indians want to have him in the starting rotation, and it's a matter of building up that arm strength. I think we saw that arm strength kind of deteriorate a little bit in the 4th inning.
And they're loaded up now for Mauer, Morneau, and Kubel, the 3 lefties who've already done some damage here today. Just Todd trying to get the Indians off the field here in a tough spot.
Yeah, Todd coming over to the Indians in the Mark DeRosa trade back on July 26th, along with another reliever out in that bullpen, Chris Perez. Todd getting called up on August 5th from AAA Columbus, making just his 4th start. Excuse me, 4th appearance. Better report on Todd. Good sinking fastball, tight slider. He'll throw a little cut fastball in on lefties and a circle changeup.
Bases loaded. Todd pitched an inning against the Twins in Cleveland a week and a half ago. Mauer didn't face him. Neither did Morneau. Kubel got a single, but then Todd mopped up in the 9th inning in a Cleveland 8-1 win. Bases full of Twins. Casilla, Span, and Cabrera. Slice to left. Another hit for Mauer. 2 more runs are going to score. So Mauer, with a couple of runs batted in, he's reached all 3 times tonight.
The RBIs keep coming for Joe Mauer, now with 72 on the year. That beautiful inside-out swing of Joe Mauer. Taking that pitch the other way. And the speed of Casilla and Span give the Twins a 6-0 lead.
Here's Morneau, hooked the first pitch he saw into right field for a 2-run single in the 3rd. Down and in, ball 1. Mentioned the Twins have not exactly set the world on fire at home since the middle of June. They've actually got not a good, but a little bit better record on the road than they do at home. Since the middle of June, the Twins are 12-13 away from the Metrodome, and 2 games below 500 at home. Morneau with 2 more RBIs in tonight's game, now with 93. There's a pretty good chance he's going to get a good pitch to swing at here. And he drills it to center. Cabrera around 3rd. He'll be held. So the Twins leading 6-0. Freeze Cabrera at 3rd, but Morneau with a scalding line drive to center field, and the bases are reloaded.
Yeah, the reason Scotty Alger held up Cabrera right there, because Cabrera had to make sure this ball went through. Right there. And he, once he got going, watch Cabrera right here. He hesitated and then he took off, and the ball hit so sharply, Sizemore, sore arm or not, got it back in quickly. So the bases are loaded for Jason Kubel with 1 out.
All started with an error, charge to Peralta at 3rd. So here are the Twins in the 3rd, a 3-run inning, and it started with a bunt single. Now so far a 3-run inning, and it started with an error to the 3rd baseman. Cleveland dugout.
That's hard to do as a left-handed hitter. They split those 2 out. Got a piece of Carl. Hit the caboose of the train.
Of the train. Very nice. 2 strikes to Kubel. And a liner past the shortstop Cabrera. And 2 runs are going to score. play that could have been made, but it was a tough one. We'll see how they rule it. But the bottom line is the Twins now lead it 8-0.
Yeah, hopefully they'll give Kubel a base hit right there. That was hit hard. It was a short hop right to Cabrera. And he tried to play it off to the side just to knock it down. They give him a base hit right here. The ball getting into center field. Joe Mauer got a very good jump. And Cabrera and Mauer score, and the Twins take an 8-0 lead with 5 runs so far here in the bottom of the 4th.
Kadair fouls the first pitch to the screen.
So Kubel picking up 3 RBIs so far in tonight's ball game with 66 on the year.
Span scored a couple of runs. Mauer has scored a couple of runs. Casilla has scored 2 runs in the game. And Kadair being worked away. Another swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Foul near the Cleveland dugout, back into the seats.
Oh, the left-handers, they're doing all the damage here.
Yeah.
Span, Mauer, Morneau, Kubel, and Casilla. The other 4 are right-handers. Looking for their first hit. Tomaoka warming up in the bullpen.
Two strikes. And a little punch shot into right field. That'll drop for a hit. Morneau around third. He's coming in. Jimenez's throw cut off by Marte, and the inning keeps rolling along. And I don't think the Twins are going to go 22 innings to beat the Indians tonight.
Morneau got a good jump right there. That gets Kadair an RBI, his 58th of the year. And he picks up the first hit as a right-handed hitter. Carl Willis killing some turf here this inning. Good aggressive base running, huh, Roy Smalling?
I am so impressed with the way the Twins run the bases. That was purely and simply practice on Justin Morneau's part about reading base hits off the bat in batting practice. If you hesitate at all right there, you don't get a chance to score. But he made up his mind as soon as the ball was hit. He knew where that ball was going to land. He knew nobody was going to get to it, and he was off pretty much with a crack of the bat. And you're right, Bert, that got Michael Kadair the RBI, because that's a ball right there that not everybody scores on. The only guys that do are guys that work on their base running and work on reading base hits off the bat in batting practice. I'm just really impressed with that.
Well, we saw it from Cabrera in the first inning when Joe Mauer hit that little flare into center field. Cabrera went from first to third.
Same exact thing. That was a really good read, and Joe Mauer got a good read off of second base on the line drive from the shortstop too.
Creedy up for the second time this inning. Reached on an error, charged to Peralta. Ball 1. Well, here are the Twins. They've scored 9 runs without a home run, without so much as a double. 10 hits, all singles. Some have been hit very hard. And now 2-0 to Creedy.
A lot of that is the base running that they've done, running from first to third and second home, reading the ball as well. And we're not talking about speed demons either. I mean, Joe Mauer runs very well. Justin Morneau doesn't run particularly well, but those guys ran the bases very well, very aggressively, and it shows up.
3-0 to Creedy with Young on deck. Masterson struggled.
Well, Jess Todd, only 23 years old. This is only his 3rd year of pro ball.
He's come into the game and given up 4 singles in a row. 3-1. called, and it's 3-2.
You know, guys, there are certain pitchers that are very, very difficult to follow. I have to believe that Jess Todd has a tough time following Justin Masterson, who was so hard on the hitter, that heavy sink. There's a psychological boost when you get a guy like that out of the game.
Now a walk loads the bases for what, the third time this inning. And Delman Young will hit. Twins are home tomorrow, mid-afternoon game, and the first 5,000 fans, 18 and older, will receive a card wallet courtesy of Spire Federal Credit Union. Twins in Cleveland in one of the final 5 Saturday games at the Metrodome. And you can get tickets by calling 800-33-TWINS. Log on to twinsbaseball.com. Here's Young. He struck out earlier this inning. It's the only out of the inning. And even that was a productive out. There was a wild pitch on strike 3, and Creedy went to second, and then later scored on a Casilla flare to left field. Inside, 1-1. Right off the end of the bat. Out at second, out at first, and the inning ends. What a good inning for the Twins. They score 6 times and now have a 9-0 lead.
High first, okay. We're going to face this way. Yeah, about middle of the row. Hold the sign up. You see us? Okay, you got us? Okay, high. Okay. All right, hold it down there again. You're good now. Okay. I just had to find you. Okay. Okay. See where that red light is? That's the camera we're looking at, all right? Okay. Minnesota Twins explode for 6 in the bottom of the 4th inning. They lead 9-0. Welcome back. I'm Robbie Smikowski inside the Minnesota State Lottery Winner's Circle. I've got Bill and Jan Peterson here. $100 in Minnesota Twins Lottery scratch-off tickets. And Bert, get a load of this. This is how far they traveled to watch the Minnesota Twins play baseball. 1,007 miles. I know it's hard to see, but they came all the way from Mississippi to watch the Minnesota Twins. And Jan, is this worth the trip? Watching them go up 9-0?
Yes, it is.
How much fun are you guys having?
A blast! Woo!
You can hear it, Bert. You can feel the energy way out here beyond center field.
Well, congratulations to them, and they're seeing a good ball game so far if you're a Twins fan. 9-0 lead for Scott Baker. And for some reason, Scott Baker's had a lot of nice run support when he faces the Indians.
Fouled away, 1-2.
I mentioned before, here in Minnesota back on June 4th, he beat the Indians 11-3, and then 2 starts ago, he won that ball game 10-1. And here they put 9 on the board so far in the top of the 5th. You'd like to spread those runs out and put them in other starts sometimes. Doesn't work that way.
Oh, what a catch by Cabrera! He came to the Twins. They said he didn't have the range he once had, but he's shown great range into the hole in this homestand.
Line drive right there. Cabrera going to his right, leaping up and making a nice grab. When you have a pitcher out there throwing strikes, your defense going to make some nice plays, and Cabrera, great play right there.
So Valbuena retired, and that'll bring up Shopping.
We'll all even out, son. Don't worry.
You know what, guys? You know what? I'm watching a shortstop that everybody says his range is getting more limited. That warms my heart just to begin with, anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, one of the great plays, one of the great things about that play was where he was positioned, way closer to the hole against a left-hand hitter. A real veteran guy knowing where to play when your range starts limiting.
There is such a thing here, a routine pop-up for out number 2. Hey, by the way, Roy, thank you for hitting some fungos to me the other night as I was trying to catch some fly balls and pop-ups here. We had Mr. Blyleven working on the pop-up machine, and things seemed to get a little bit out of hand, but thanks to you, we got some pop-ups, some fungos that were manageable to catch.
I wanted that ball to come down like a knuckleball.
Well, it was my pleasure, Dick. You did a good job, and sorry about all those line drives I hit you, but
that's all right.
I'm just so used to it. It was hard for me to hit pop.
Roy, get a shovel.
1-0 to Jimenez.
I thought I had a shovel. That's what it felt like I was hitting with.
Fly ball to right. Kadair hardly has to move, and a quick 1-2-3, top of the 5th.
There you go.
We're at the Metrodome.
We did pretty good.
Robbie Smokowski, Roy Smalley, Bert Blyleven, Dick Bramer. And a fun night for the Twins so far. Boy, did they ever need that. Been a frustrating homestand, losing 2 out of 3 to Kansas City. And they've seen Detroit already win their ball game. So the Twins need to follow suit if they want to keep the 5-game margin between first place and third place. Tomo Oka now pitching for the Indians.
Yeah, Oka made some starts, 5 starts for the Indians, now in the bullpen, 1 win, 4 losses, ERA over 6, 52 hits allowed in 45 2/3 innings with 13 walks and 21 strikeouts.
Here's Casilla with a pair of singles, the bunt single that opened the door for the 3-run 3rd inning. And then he got the first hit of the 6-run 4th, just chipping one behind the third baseman Peralta for an RBI single. Up the line, foul. made the comment the other day, from up here it just looks like Casillas playing, and you see it more defensively I guess than offensively, but he's playing with so much more confidence, and he's playing like a major league second baseman. Roy, would you agree with that?
I was just going to say that, Dick. He looked befuddled as when he was up before he got sent down. He was taking pitches down the middle and swinging balls over his head and in the dirt, and didn't look like he knew where to throw the ball if the ball was hit to him at second base. And all of his at-bats now look like they have a purpose. He looks like he's playing with a lot of confidence in the athleticism that he has at second base on defense. He looks like a completely different player than he did when he was here before, and he looks like the player he was at the end of last year when he played so well for the Twins.
Why do you think that is, Roy?
Well, we might be looking at one of the reasons on the split screen right here that man Orlando Cabrera can have a big impact on young players, especially young Latin players that speak the same language, and he knows what they've gone through as young players in this country. And I think that Orlando Cabrera, just by his presence, even if he hasn't talked a lot with Alexi, which I think he has, but even if he hasn't, just the fact that he's here could give Lexi a boost. But I think this young man has a lot of talent. I think he was going to figure it out one way or the other.
This one lifted and hit fairly well to center. Sizemore retreats and makes the catch. So one away in the fifth. And for our trivia question today, the Aflac Duck has flown all the way from Jamaica, Mon.
Aflac!
The four players, Chili Davis is one of them.
Yep.
Devon White's another.
Aflac!
And then the other guy, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember. Rolando Rooms. You remember him? He played in the late 80s.
Maybe in the National League.
Span with a one-hop skipper to short. Cabrera throws him out, 2 down. Well, you think of all the great Latin ball players and Jamaica, down there in the Caribbean, but it's not universal down there. Baseball is not universal. You've got this huge island down there, and half the island, the Dominican Republic, they play baseball religiously, and on the other half of the island in Haiti, they play soccer. They don't play baseball in Haiti, and they're all connected and only separated by, an imaginary geographic boundary. 2 down. Here's Cabrera.
Orlando Rooms played with the Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds.
Okay.
And the Montreal Expos, so he was in the National League.
Well,
in the late 80s.
Speaking of Latin countries, Cabrera from the country of Colombia. Well, somewhere in that group is Dick Strasberg, the project manager for Target Field, and it's his 50th birthday today, and he wanted to be circled.
Well, there you go. You are hereby circled, and happy 50th.
Grand Casino game reset, and the Twins have enjoyed their night so far against the Indians.
Yeah, Joe Mauer with a couple hits. He has scored a couple runs. Span has scored a couple runs. Casilla scored a couple runs. Left-handers have done very well here tonight against the Cleveland Indian pitching staff. And Baker has done outstanding so far. 5 shutout innings. He's allowed only 1 hit, and that was to Asdrubal Cabrera, a leadoff double in the 4th, and he left them there.
2-0 to Andy Marte. And a strike. Now Baker started the night by hitting Grady Sizemore, leading off the first inning, but Sizemore only made it as far as second base.
Well, I've seen Baker here tonight. He's doing a better job of keeping the ball down.
Skied to short center, and an Art Span comes in, makes the catch, 1 away. There's a look at tonight's Guess the Stands feature. See if you can guess who this major league player is. Rocky Colavito.
Oh, he's a lefty.
You can text who you think the batting stance guy is imitating to short code 234-234.
Carl Yastrzemski.
We'll give you the answer later on in the Quest Twins live postgame show. Yeah, Rocky Colavito was a right-handed.
Yes, he was.
Sizemore, the hitter, he was hit by a pitch in the first and then went down swinging in the third. 1-1.
See, like that pitch right there, Baker doing a good job of keeping the ball down. He's changing speeds extremely well, getting his breaking ball over. Pitch count very good with 1 out here in the 6th inning, only 67 pitches. How Baker pitches up, if he keeps the ball down, that pitch up is almost an ultimate of surprise, or vice versa. If he pitches up and then all of a sudden hits that ball down, you just can't pitch one way.
Fouled away.
You know what I'm saying, Dick?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So when they're looking for it up here and he throws it down there, then you've got the element of surprise.
Right, and I don't know if Roy's still down there, but you know, if you have to mix it up, and I think Baker's done a great job tonight of mixing it up, working both sides of the plate, up and down.
You talk about changing the eye angle. That's what you're talking about, right? This one hit to center, and Span lopes back and makes the catch out number 2.
Let's take a look at some of Baker's highlights here. That cutter right there, and a lot of pitches inner half of the plate. You saw Chu right there, couldn't do much with that fastball in or a little cutter in. He pops it up, and there's Travis Hafner. He struck out Hafner on a good breaking ball his first at bat.
11 fly ball outs on the evening for Baker. Strike on the outside corner.
Guys, I've noticed 3 things about Scott Baker that are very much different and very, very good tonight. First of all, he's throwing his fastball for strikes just about whenever he wanted to. Secondly, when he's missed with his fastball, he's missed in off the plate and straightened some guys up, which, Bert, to your point, I was listening to you and I do know what you mean, that different eye angle, and sometimes the ball, most of the time the ball's been down, but every once in a while he'll throw one up and in. And then that breaking ball, he's hit that one corner, both to right-handers and left-handers, very consistently. Right in there, little cutter, or would take a little bit off that, which is more of a slider. And that is really, really effective when you can stay right in there on left-handers or that far away on right-handers. He's done those 3 things very, very well tonight.
You know, well, sometimes as a pitcher, you go out there and it's difficult. You struggle. Baker struggled in his last start. Tonight, he looks nice and fluid. It looks easy tonight.
6 shutout innings on 74 pitches for Scott Baker. Welcome back, everybody, to the Coors Light 6th inning, and it's time for the Coors Light freeze can.
Well, this bunt right here really helped put the first 3 runs on the board off the bat of Alexi Casilla.
Fair or foul?
You know what? I think it's fair. I think it's fair because part of the ball is still over the line, and that's where it ends up, right on the line. You saw the home plate umpire right there, Bob Davidson, watching the roll of the ball.
The Frost Brewed Coors Light freeze can. Adjusting it as we move along here up to 373, and Ichiro will start his night in Seattle against the Yankees at 358. Figures that we're going to have a very interesting batting race this year. Mauer figures to be in the thick of it. Let's hope that the pennant race will tighten up a little bit too. Ball 1. Mauer with a single in the first, a single in the fourth. In the third, the count ran to 3-0, and the Indians decided, why tempt fate? We'll just intentionally walk him. Mauer hooked the next pitch into right field for a 2-run single. One and one. If I were to guess, I'd say we're going to have a crowd in excess of 30,000 again, which would be the 12th straight. Yep. Mid-afternoon game tomorrow, and then the homestand finale Sunday afternoon. The Twins have a tough and interesting and critical road trip coming up. 4 in Texas and 3 in Kansas City. 3 for 3 with a walk. And Mauer has a leadoff single in the 6th.
Well, that was almost like his first hit in the first inning off of Masterson. Got tied up a little bit on the inner half, but just fought it off and hit it in the center field. Right here, just an inside-out swing by Joe Mauer. Boy, the eye-to-bat contact was incredible for Joe Mauer. The smile on his face. It's easy, isn't it?
Here's Morneau with a pair of singles, a pair of runs batted in, 1 run scored. Ooh, a vicious swing, strike 1.
I think he's looking for number 29 on that swing.
And a breaking ball gets another swing and a miss. 0-2.
Yeah, Oka will give you an assortment of pitches. 33 years old, from Japan, originally came up with the Boston Red Sox back in 1999. Indians are his 6th different organization to pitch for at the major league level.
Justin Morneau last night at the International Market Square, just a little bit west of the Twin Cities, opened or hosted his first casino night. And a lot of his teammates participated, mingled. And they ended up raising more than $74,000 last night. Justin very pleased with the money that was raised. 2 strikes. He and his wife Krista did a good job organizing that event. Foul back.
I think sometimes the players don't get enough credit on how much time they put back into great charities. That one going to the Arthritis Foundation. Michael Kadire, involved in so many events. We just had the Boys and Girls Club. Joe Mauer, so many players that kind of pick a charity and then go with it. Of course, myself, I'm the Parkinson's Association.
Fouled back. Kadire hosting his benefit celebrity waiter event. Restaurant Max in downtown Minneapolis at the end of this month. And Justin will be the bartender. Claims to offer a good pour from behind the bar. 2 strikes to Morneau. Check swing. Did he go? Well, thought that Bob Davidson was going to appeal. He made the call himself, and Morneau's retired.
Yeah, I think Bob Davidson, I don't think Kelly Shopping caught that on the air, but I think he's called saying that Justin went on the swing. Take another look right here.
I thought he was. I thought he was pointing at third base umpire Chad Fairchild. And Ron Gardenhire is going to pick up the argument for his player. This is called protecting your player.
I thought that ball hit the ground. The only thing I thought he said that Justin went. And
now they're going to
with first base open, Justin, cannot advance on a
no. But as he made the out call, he clapped his hands together like he called a foul tip that was caught by the catcher. And I think that's what Ron Gardenhire's appeal is.
Well, they're showing the baseball whether it hit the dirt or not.
Well, a foul, and they're going to bring him back and let him continue the at bat.
And here comes manager Eric Wedge. And he's going to show him the ball, maybe?
Well, it could still be strike 3 if it hit the dirt, but if it hit the end of the bat and it's a foul ball in the dirt, then the at bat's still alive. I mean, if they're looking to see whether there's dirt on the ball, I guess.
Well, you can almost see some of the leather. I don't think. Honestly, do not think Justin made contact with the bat. Yeah, he said that's a foul ball.
And then the question is whether Shopping caught the ball in the air.
Well, maybe it's so hard to see right there whether it tipped his bat or not, but the ball definitely hit the ground right there before Shopping caught it.
I think what the claim is, and I mean, looking at the ball, seeing if the end of the bat makes contact with the ball, it can actually scuff the ball, right?
Well, more on the dirt, I think, more than the bat. I mean, I've had many balls come back at me, after a guy hits a ball, and I don't see a scuff on the ball.
But I
have to do it myself.
And Eric Wedge.
He's not a happy camper right now.
Bob Davidson had had enough.
Now Davidson's giving it back to him.
Jaw to jaw. That's as close as you can get without physically being in contact with an umpire.
That was outstanding.
With the ejection comes a fine, and Eric Wedge wanted his money's worth.
That was worth the price of admission right there. That really was. You don't see. Bobby Cox is a guy that would do the same thing. You just hope that both those guys have good breath. Because they were almost mouth to mouth. My goodness.
Gardy had to admire that. That was pretty good.
That was awesome.
Well, Morneau with a reprieve. The only way this at-bat is resumed is if they determine through inspecting the ball that contact was made, the ball was fouled into the dirt, right?
Right, and that's why he had that baseball showing. Ron Gardenhire saw it, and then Eric Wedge saw it, and he didn't like it. Let's take another look now. The ball hits the dirt. It's just a matter of if Justin makes contact right there, then it's a foul ball.
Originally, I just thought it was whether the check swing was called. But the home plate umpire heard contact from the bat. And then the question was whether the ball hit the dirt. He asked one of the umpires. They looked at the ball. They came to that conclusion, and now it's 2-2.
Well, at least credit Bob Davidson for asking from the other umpires.
And now 3-2 count with Mauer at first.
And they'll throw that ball out. There you go.
Morneau with his 2 hits has his average right at 300. So depending on what happens in this plate appearance, just a way to keep the batting average at or above 300, perhaps. After all the controversy. Foul.
And with a 9-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning, Joe Mauer is going to hang around first base. Marte playing off the bag. One thing you don't want to do is wake up the Indians by taking off the second base on a 3-2 pitch.
The team batting right now is also a team that lost a game with a 10-run lead.
You don't want to wake up your opponent.
No. Three and 2. Another foul.
Well, Justin trying to make the best out of this at bat that was given back to him.
Picked up nicely by Marte. Safe at first. So Marte had to look through Mauer to follow the ball, and he stayed with it and got the lead runner at second.
Yeah, Twins have already hit into 3 double plays in this ball game and almost a 4th. Justin hustling down the line, staying out of the double play as Mauer is forced out at second. See Marte right there, good throw. And then Marte going back to cover the bag.
Here's Kubel. Pair of singles and 3 runs batted in. Ball 1. And now 2-0.
Okay, came up with the Boston Red Sox. He's pitched for the Expos/Nationals, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Brewers, the Blue Jays, and now here in Cleveland.
Well over 30,000 here tonight. 34,845 the paid attendance on Friday night. Kubel drives it high and deep to right. 5 runs batted in for Jason Kubel tonight.
And home run number 20 on the year.
Told you.
For Jason Kubel. That's 3 nights ago. Matching a career high he had last year, 20 home runs. This a 2-run home run off the bat of Kubel. And the Twins taking an 11-0 lead. Keep that ball, son.
So the Twins tack on at least 2 more here in the 6th. Here's Kadire.
Twins get their first extra hit or extra base hit.
Ball 1. Got the lanyard to keep a ticket preserved, and now a Jason Kubel home run ball into the upper deck. Tapper left side, cut off by Peralta. Out number 2. Kubel with a walk in the 2nd inning, then an RBI single in the 3rd, a 2-run single in the 4th, and a 2-run homer in the 6th.
5 RBIs here tonight for Kubel on 3 hits.
Joe Crede 0 for 2 with a walk, reached on an error and scored in the fourth. Ball one. Under the arms. And it's 2-0. Needing to win here to keep pace with the Tigers, who picked up their second consecutive shutout win today. 1-0. Brandon Inge with a walk-off home run in the ninth. Justin Verlander pitched him to a 2-0 win in yesterday's game. Down the middle of strike, Creedy's gone. Twins had 2 more runs. The inning featuring a long home run on one of the best rhubarbs you'll ever see. Remembering that all of this happened after the ejection, and it inspired at least 2 fans to recreate what happened on the field. So we go to the 7th inning. Scott Baker with plenty of run support here. 11-0 in the 7th.
Well, he still, as a pitcher, you want to think it's 0-0. Sometimes it's difficult, but Baker has been outstanding. He's allowed only 1 hit, 4 strikeouts so far for Baker, no walks, and a very low pitch count here starting his 7th inning. 74 pitches coming into this inning.
A fly ball lifted to left. Delman Young with the catch. 1 away. Here's the Dodge game summary.
Well, the Twins put 3 on the board in the 3rd inning, started by this beautiful bunt by Alexi Casilla. And that ball staying fair. Justin Morneau driving in a couple runs. And the 4th, the Twins kind of opened up the ball game. Casilla, kind of an inside-out 15-glove swing. Stole second base, and then here comes Joe Mauer again, an RBI situation. Picks up a couple.
Johnny Peralta with a line drive to right, a 1-out single here in the 7th.
Only the 2nd hit for the Indians in the ball game.
Bring up Travis Hafner. This is continuing a trend where the winning team has scored a lot of runs. Twins have been involved in a lot of high-scoring games ever since their sweep of the Chicago White Sox by scores of 4-3, 5-3, 3-2. We've had scores of 11-5, 11-6, 13-4, 10-1, 8-1, 10-8, 11-0, 8-6, 14-6, 7-1. This one down the left field line, a long run for Delman Young. Got there and found ground. Good catch after a long run, 2 away.
Good concentration right there by Delman Young, because with Hafner up, you shade him a little bit toward left center, so a long way to go. And you know here, Dick, you know better than anybody, you have to keep your eye on the ball. And Delman Young getting over there, keeping his eye on the ball and making the foul ball catch.
You know what I've been amazed about here is, regardless of my fun and games out there in the outfield, but outfielders talk about how they can get a good jump by hearing the crack of the bat. The acoustics in here are so peculiar. You know, how do you get a good jump? How do you determine the depth of a ball that's hit when the acoustics in here are so unusual? It's a chopper to the right side, sideways hop, Morneau to the bag. The inning ends. Home half of the 7th coming up, and the Twins leading 11-0. Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. By Dodge. Live strong, live bold, live now. Dodge. Grab life. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing.
Let's take a look at our Mountain Dew fans of the game. There you go. You are hereby circled. Hello. Go Twins.
Delman Young will lead off the home half of the 7th inning. Young had the distinction of making all 3 outs in the 4th inning. He struck out his first time up, hit into an inning-ending double play later in the 4th. In between, Twins scored 6 times. Lifted to right, hit fairly well. Ball's got some carry. And out by the warning track, the catch is made by Jimenez, 1 away. And that'll bring up Alexi Casilla.
Well, you know your team has a good inning when you make all 3 outs.
Jamie Carroll is out there in right field. Jimenez is out of the ball game, or whether he's got a different position. We'll try to.
I believe Chu is out of the ball game, and Jimenez moved over to left.
There's Jimenez.
Yep.
1 down, and Casilla at the plate. 1-0 the count. White Sox have an early 2-0 lead on Oakland. 1-1. Casilla retired. This has been a week, in fact a whole season really has been a season where the Twins have taken one step forward and one step back, and there have been so many times I think where Twins fans have been teased by games like this where wow, everything's working. Mauer and Morneau are hitting, Casilla's getting on base, Span's getting on base, pitchers throwing a shutout. Okay, now they're going to take off from here, and it just hasn't happened yet. So this is nice, an 11-0 win, an apparent win, or an 11-0 lead, and an apparent win coming up. But the real test here is how you follow up a game like this tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and then through the road trip next week.
You take one game at a time. You hope what Baker's doing here tonight will rub on, Anthony Swarzak tomorrow, and then so on. It's just. Hopefully it roller coasters right into, a winning streak. The longest winning streak the Twins have had this year is 4. They've done it twice. And that's what Ron Gardenhire talked about, to get back in the race. They're looking for that long winning streak. And maybe this is the beginning of it. You have to hope it is if you're a Twins fan.
For all intents and purposes, this game, this season, to this point, swung in the middle of May. The Twins had just swept the Tigers and pulled into a first-place tie with them on May 14th. Then the Tigers had one of those winning streaks. They ran off, I think, 6 in a row, while the Twins struggled. Twins had that awful road trip in New York, and it wasn't much better in Chicago. The Twins lost 6 in a row, while the Tigers won 5 in a row. And since that point forward, the Twins have been unable to put together the winning streak that the Tigers did in May while the Twins were losing every night. Slap foul by Span. Now it doesn't mean it can't happen.
Right.
You just have to keep after it, and as you say, play every game one at a time. And we've seen this organization catch a spark and run with it for a while in the second half. It just hasn't happened so far this year. You need to pitch. You need to have games like the Tigers have had the last couple nights. 2-0 and 1-0. Sky to short center.
Oh, I thought you didn't like those low run games.
And that's the end of the 7th inning.
You don't.
Stick around for the Quest Twins Live postgame show. Roy Smalley, Burton, and Anthony take an in-depth look at defending the bunt. You can learn from the pros in our postgame instructional after the game.
I don't know how we can defend that one right there, but we are going to talk about that bunt down the third baseline. Well, outstanding evening so far for Scott Baker. He's allowed only 2 hits. Brendan Harris taking over for Justin Morneau at first base, and Nick Punto taking over for Joe Creedy at third.
First pitch, foul back, McKelly Shopping.
Shopping 2 fly ball outs. 2 of 13 fly ball outs Baker has been able to get so far. 4 ground ball outs along with 4 strikeouts. No walks for Baker. This is a ball game right here. You want Baker to go 9. Get that shutout.
Not sure what all the delays are about here. First, Shopping steps out of the box. Baker pawing around on the rubber. Bouncer to short. Cabrera. Over to Harris, who's in at first base. 1 away. Time for the Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest High-Speed Energy.
Justin Masterson, he worked the first 3 1/3 innings. He got that fastball up to 95, and Baker, not only the good fastball at 93, doing a good job at changing speeds, working all 4 corners of the plate.
Jimenez. Pop up behind first. Harris will get tested. It's Casilla streaking across the line, making the catch for out number 2. We're going to go back in baseball history. August 14th, 1958. Our Cabot Woodstein legendary performance. Vic Power, who later played some pretty slick first base for the Twins, stole home twice in the same game. And his second steal of home gave the Indians a 10-9 win in 10 innings. Who was at the plate? Somebody who must not have been much of a hitter, I would guess. And he only stole 3 bases all year, and he stole home twice in 1 game. Hit high and deep to center, but Span back. And Baker has a quick 8th inning. A 1-2-3-8. Just 2 hits allowed so far by Scott Baker.
Yeah. TC's going to stay with me. You smell lovely. It's a fun night tonight here at the Metrodome, right, TC? Having a good time tonight. 11-0. Twins are winning. Stay tuned for Quest Twins Live featuring the Toyota postgame wrap. TC's going to watch it too. Among the topics to be discussed, the power surge. How about the Minnesota Twins tonight? 11 runs, 12 hits, a big night. Clubhouse interviews. We hope to talk to Scott Baker in the postgame show. And also covering the bunt. That is our instructional tonight with Roy Smalley and Burt Bly11. Alexi Casilla, a beneficiary of a nice roll on a bunt. Make sure you stay tuned, right, TC? Are you gonna watch it tonight? What do you think of Burt Bly11, his instructionals? I give you a thumbs down. TC gives you, this is me. Thumbs down to you, Burt. He goes.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Kerry Wood coming out of the Cleveland bullpen. First pitch to Cabrera, lifted foul down by the Cleveland bullpen from whence Kerry Wood came.
I see the numbers on Wood just getting some work in here. And maybe the hitting streak for Cabrera may end right here.
At 22 games, Cabrera, in all likelihood, will finish in the fans here.
You know what? This is awesome. This is awesome for the fans to do this right here for Cabrera. Acknowledging that, yeah, he didn't get a hit, but what a run it was. A career-high 22-game hitting streak for Orlando Cabrera. Those are good baseball fans.
Very aware
yes.
of what's going on with their Twins team. Here's Joe Mauer. They're also aware that Mauer has gone 3 for 3 and kicked his average up 5 points tonight.
They're letting us know what Joe is hitting right now at 375.
One strike. And now a ball. Not sure quite how to explain that.
Just crazy for Joe. Joe Mauer, that is.
Foul back, 1-2. Now the White Sox have busted the game open with at least a 5-run second inning. They've taken a 6-0 lead on Oakland. Detroit's already won. One and 2. Swinging the foul. Shopping can't hang on.
I think the Indians were hoping that Kerry Wood would, have an opportunity to pick up the saves he picked up last year in his first year as the club's closer when he saved 34 ball games for the Cubs. But it's been a disappointing year for the Indians. Wood signing that 2-year contract is still with the Indians.
You wonder whether that's going to be the case. He might be one of those guys, if there's a team out there that wants to assume the rest of this year's contract and next year's contract, that they may take him on to provide a boost. I mean, a team that, well, I don't know, the Cardinals and Cubs seem to love to spar with one another and take each other's players. Cardinals have DeRosa now. He was a key player for the Cubs last year. Maybe the Cardinals will claim Wood on waivers. You wonder whether it might not be, given Cleveland's situation, one of those deals such as the Alex Rios one in Toronto, where Cleveland wouldn't want so much to get players in return for Wood just to get out from underneath the contract. $10 million, I think, is what the contract will cost somebody next year.
Yeah, plus an option. I don't know if it's his option or the club option for 2011.
Right. 1-2 to Mauer. And now 2-2. The Indians have unloaded just about every contract they could. Not Woods yet, and not Hafner's. That one they're probably going to be left with.
Wood, and 2-time National League All-Star.
Forget this 30 teams in 30 days. Let's get this guy and have him follow the Twins around the rest of the way.
I think he's going to meet us where in Kansas City and also Texas.
Kansas City. Yeah.
He brought us some luck here tonight.
Can we get him a passport? He probably already has one for Toronto, right? He's trying to do all the major league parks.
I don't know if he's going to all the parks. Maybe just 30 games. Oh, it's going to go to all the parks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mauer with another foul, battling Kerry Wood.
Well, he likes that ice cream. That had to take him a long time to put this trip together.
Right.
I guess he likes the ice cream here better than the hot dog.
Got another foul. Didn't have room for the hot dog here, but as we all know, there's always room for ice cream.
Always room for ice cream.
3-2. At bats like this, plate appearances like this, I don't know how this is going to turn out, of course, but this is, they say, what separates the great hitters from the average hitters, bearing down in every at bat, even in a game where it's 11-0. You've already got your 3 hits. What more do you want?
Well, no, you want your 4th.
You want the 4th hit or a walk. At least it's not a. It's a 3 for 3, not a 3 for 4.
Well, that's the attitude you have to have as a major leaguer. Like, that might be his last at bat. And a great at bat right there.
Fans, remember, every Saturday, speaking of ice cream, is a DQ Sensational Saturday. When you buy a ticket in the Home Run Porch, you can get a buy one, get one free coupon for a DQ Blizzard flavored treat. DQ Sensational Saturday tickets are available at twinsbaseball.com or call 833-TWINS. Check swing by Harris.
Brendan Harris and Kerry Wood were teammates back in 2004 when they were both with the Cubs.
Lifted to right. Carroll is there. Out number 2. Time now for our Mercedes-Benz E-Class Attention assist of the game.
Well, Kubel has really enjoyed hitting against the Cleveland Indians. 6 home runs, 6 of his 20 have been hit against the Cleveland Indians, and that right there helping Scott Baker, a 2-run home run in the 6th inning.
I tell you, that was a great catch by the kid in the upper deck. I didn't see that the first time. He took it away from an adult with his cap, I think. Swing and a miss. I didn't notice that the first time. No wonder they were so excited up there in the upper deck. Kubel takes up and in a ball. There's your assist of the game, or the catch of the game. The kid went up with the cap and took it out. That's awesome.
Who needs a glove?
Oh,
I have my hat.
I thought he was just excited about getting a home run ball. I had no idea he made a great catch with the cap. 2-1 to Kubel. And now 2-2. Then afterwards, oh, that's awesome.
Fist, 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 fist. Yeah, sore knuckles, but he got a baseball.
Pitch up and Kubel fouled it straight back. Toronto beat Tampa Bay 5-2. Texas leading Boston 4-2. Top of the 8th. Fun time of the year. The way the schedule has it, just about every game really important in tightening or expanding the division and wild card races.
Coming into this game, 31 of the next 48 ball games are into the Central Division for the Twins.
It's almost predictable. You play the Tigers and the White Sox and you have your success against them, and then it's the Clevelands and Kansas Cities that give you trouble. And it's not just the Twins. Cleveland, after pretty much dumping everybody they could dump, took 2 out of 3 in series against the 3 teams ahead of them, the Twins, the White Sox, and the Tigers.
Yep, they're playing good baseball.
And Kansas City took 2 out of 3 here, and well, it went to the bottom of the 9th before the Tigers finally scored a run to win 1-0 tonight.
Well, Kerry Wood with a good fastball that's been clocked already. I've noticed 96 miles an hour. And that big breaking ball.
He cannot do what Scott Baker has done a better job of tonight, and that is retire batters without a whole bunch of foul balls. He's thrown 23 pitches this inning. Wood has, and Baker has maybe pitched to contact a little bit more instead of trying to get to 2 strikes and strike somebody out. He's gotten fly balls and ground ball outs.
Yeah, Baker's staying loose right there. 85 pitches in 8 innings. Outstanding pitch count for Scott. And he went too far.
And Kubel's out. And that'll end the inning. To the 9th with the Twins leading 11-0.
All right, get the shutout, Scott Baker.
AT&T Rapid Rewind. It's time to bring you up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Nick Blackburn's threatened to do it a whole bunch of times this year, but no Twin pitcher has completed a shutout this year. And a first pitch out here of Sizemore for the first out of the night.
Bob Baker making his 23rd start of the year. As you look at the Jeep game summary, 11-0 lead for the Indians. Everybody's really contributed, but to me, you know, Kubel hitting his 20th home run, tying last year. Mauer 3 hits, a couple walks. Baker, last inning, only needed 4 pitches to get out of the 8th. And on that first pitch right there, Sizemore, a ground ball out. Baker has 1 shutout in his career, and that was that game against Kansas City a couple years ago when he took that perfect game into the 9th inning. Remember, he walked John Buck, and then Mike Sweeney pinched hit and got that base hit to center field.
Cabrera takes down and in, 1-1.
Baker won that game 5-0 on a 1-hitter. Right here, looking to maybe finish this game off with his 2nd career shutout, maybe a 2-hitter.
And his 10th win of the year. Swing and a foul tip, 1-2. And as we said, the challenge will be for the Twins to back up this game, whatever the final score, with a good one tomorrow. Anthony Swarzak pitching that one, Nick Blackburn on Sunday, and the Twins rotation needs to get on a roll. What better way to start than perhaps with a shutout? That staggers Mauer, a foul tip. It's still 1-2.
Well, your adrenaline is flowing when you're out there in the 9th inning. You want to get it. They're very hard to come by. Great defensive plays behind you. And his 5th strikeout.
But maybe more impressively, 26 outs and 21 outs on batted balls.
Well, he went to that breaking ball again. And Cabrera striking out for the 2nd time in the game. Crowd on its feet. Again, great fans here in Minnesota, appreciating what Baker has been able to do tonight.
Up and in. Jamie Carroll hitting in what was Chu's spot. And that's a foul ball that'll reach the seats. It really is a rarity, maybe even more so here in Minnesota. The Twins very protective of their pitching. Even when Santana struck out 17 against the the Texas Rangers, I believe, when he set the club record for strikeouts.
Yeah, Santana pretty much took himself out of the ball
I know,
game, remember?
but it's great for the fans to have a chance to see what they're about to see.
Look at that!
A shutout.
A shutout by one guy. My goodness. Congratulations, Scott Baker. His second career shutout.
And the